think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, BALLBUSTERS, Bates here with your friend and mine, Ray Mungus, and we kinda lied about not having a new episode of Way of Life Live tonight, but we are. How you doing over there?
I am parched. I was in the middle of taking a sip there for a second, but I'm doing all right, not too bad, considering I just spent a lot of the day making things and helping. Well, more than anything, getting our good buddy John wanting to strangle me. I think that's what I accomplished most today. But beyond that, throwing an episode together within 10 minutes or something like that, that was good times. How are you tonight?
All right. Little tired, but I think it's because I ate too much at dinner. But otherwise, I guess I'm okay.
It's good to hear. You seem a little more lively than last week. I thought I had to wake you up a couple of times going into the episode while our last time.
Yeah, well, the last 2 weeks were just work has not been friendly, and this week I decided to take a different approach to work, and pretty much in a fuck everyone kind of mood.
That's a great mood to be in. I was in there basically the end of my shift today.
Yeah, just a pretty much fuck everybody frame of mind, and it seems to be working. Because now when shit fucking goes wrong and shit breaks, and I decide I'm not gonna be the one to fix it, certain people will see what I was trying to, tell them. I had this big conversation with my boss to kind of get a lot of shit off my chest, and he kind of just told me to, fucking sod off, and I was like, all right, whatever, man. Fucking shit hits the fan. Don't fucking, come crying to me. So, fuck everyone frame of mind right now. I'm also kind of pissed off because I really wanted this week off, but I kind of had to take that one on the chin because my boss's wife they're expecting their third kid sometime in like the next day or two. I think her due date is actually fucking like Halloween, so I was like, all right, that's valid. I'll deal with that, not being able to take my time off yet until after, your kid comes and things settle down for you. But then I'm taking my fucking time off. I took fucking Thanksgiving week off. I took fucking Monday to Monday. I'll be back on like the following Tuesday. That's nice.
Oh, let me just go back to your boss expecting a kid. It's his third kid. He could sit this one out and let you have a week off. That's all I'm saying, right?
He dropped the bombshell on us too a couple days ago, and no one in my department is happy about it. They're getting another sort of person in our department that's going to be like right under him. That's going to be handling fucking, I guess planning and stuff. Not like a project manager, but he's like another director of my department. And yeah, no one is happy about possibly having to take fucking orders from some brand new guy we don't know a thing about. I've already decided that I am just not gonna listen to him. I have my methods and ways I do my thing, and I'm not gonna have some fucking usurper come in and try to fucking tell me what to do. I took our jobs.
Yeah, and the worst part about those type of people coming into work is they always want to put their thumbprint in on a given project, or they want to like kick down the door and really show them who's boss right off the bat. And you've been there significantly longer than this person. You know better. You know what works. You know what breaks things. And at this point, like fuck you and your power move and pretty much anything this new person could throw at you at this point. They need to kind of like get the hazing period in themselves and then really go with the flow of the rest of the building. Otherwise, it's always a pain in the ass.
And at this point, I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm in my own little world when it comes to my job and my department, and I usually, I mean, even my boss doesn't really give me any orders. Fucking, I find a project to work on, I fucking do it, and you know, I do my end user support and my hardware upgrades. I got enough to keep me busy where I don't need somebody to fucking tell me what to do, and my boss doesn't. You know, I love my boss, but you know, if this guy comes in and he thinks he's gonna tell me what to do, he is fucking sadly mistaken. He is trying to fucking, he's barking up the wrong tree on that one. So,
well, I guess you're gonna have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah, I think this guy starts sometime in the middle of November, so maybe I'll only have to deal with him for a week, and then I'll have a nice week off, and I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Not worth worrying about right this second.
No, it's really not. There's plenty of other shit I gotta worry about, and so is what it is there. But
right on.
So all right, so we weren't planning on doing one tonight. I was out with the wifey, took her out to dinner, and then we got back a little earlier than I thought. I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, that caught me a little bit off guard because like I was supposed to help Michelle with getting Discord situated because I think she's going to be appearing from her Frightmare at the Falls this weekend when we do our stream. So she's going to kind of like quote unquote call in and give us an update from her Canadian horror convention, which is pretty awesome. But I was like planning to do that, and then I got hit with some images that I had to do, you know, do some random things for the website. And then you're like, oh well, let's do a episode tonight, and I'm like, I already told them we're not. So
also known as Play Spider-Man.
Hey, that's what I was just about to say. I was like, you know, I haven't played Spider-Man in like 3 days. I'm having fucking withdrawals at this point, and I know that I'm gonna spend all of Friday basically getting the episode and all the fun bells and whistles sorted out for Saturday. So I'm like, oh, today is Spider-Man Day tonight. Like, and I'm just about ready. And then you're like convincing me. You were very, very strong on your point of doing an episode. So I was like,
I said a little short episode. We could have just discussed Halloween. Like, oh no, I'll throw together an episode. But
like, here's the
all
thing.
Just so you could bitch about it later. I threw together this episode real fast. Well, you know, you're gonna get all big dick swinging on me.
I don't. You know what though? I don't mind throwing them together, and doing so was relatively easy because the majority of stuff that we're talking about tonight has been like on Dead Entertainment for the last couple of days. It's really hot in the news, and you know, like with us kind of like phoning it in the last few weeks, I think it's good to have like a strong news episode leading into the drunken fun that's going to happen on Saturday. So,
yeah. I'm also considering going to Chiller Theater on Saturday.
Are you?
Yeah. I haven't decided 100%. Like, because I kind of want to go meet the Day of the Dead people.
Oh, they got a reunion going on, right?
Yeah. McDermott, Sarah, and what was the black guy's name? It's like my all-time favorite movie. I can't remember his name.
IMDb is your friend. I'll play the elevator music. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
No, you're talking about the Jamaican dude, right?
Yeah.
Guy's a fucking man. I don't even remember the character he plays in the movie or the name of the character that he plays, but I swear those two guys that like hang out, they got their own little paradise with the with their little house and shit.
Oh yeah, they call it the Ritz.
Exactly. I mean, That's the dream, man. If the world ends, that's exactly the type of role that I'm going to like see myself fit into.
But I mean, I've never met Lori Cardille. I would love to meet her. She's just like one of my absolute favorites. So I really would
she's
love.
Really sweet too.
That's what I've heard too, and I'm like, I really would like to meet her. I'm gonna turn down my mic a little bit. I can sort of hear a little bit of feedback. Not feedback, but a little bit of weirdness coming through.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I've always wanted to meet her. I've just never had a chance.
I take it your schedule kind of freed up because of the storm, huh?
Sort of. John. Terry Alexander's character name is John.
Right.
So, how did my microphone go all the way back up to 100? That is nonsense.
Don't worry, guys. We're getting the kinks out for the stream.
No, yeah,
Saturday.
it's. I just don't know how that happened. Okay, that's better. That should be much better. Shouldn't be as loud and obnoxious. And then Jarlath Conroy character McDermott, he's gonna be there too. That's the dude who looks like Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm gonna tell him that. I'm gonna be like, anyone ever tell you look like Rowan Atkinson?
That's funny. He's probably like, I hear that shit all the time.
I would think so too. He really does. But yeah, so
he really definitely.
So yeah, with all this rain and stormy weather we're supposed to be getting on Saturday, Tal wanted to go apple picking. I was like, all right, I'll take you apple picking. I don't give a fuck. I said, as long as we're back, between 6 and 7, so I can, get my shit ready. Like I don't care, but the gonna be fuck. Oh, and also Ruggero Diodato is gonna be there too. I think he'd be kind of cool to meet.
Yeah, but I think he only speaks Italian if I know correctly. So it's unless you guys are, or unless you're fluent, that might be a little.
I could speak like Peter Griffin Italian. Bibi da Boppy.
I can only imagine his face.
I'm Italian. I'm a paisano, man. Fucking hell, he'll laugh and I don't know, maybe shoot me. I don't know. A chick from the Beyond is going to be there too. They must have just added her.
Yeah, I love how Chiller gets the Italian invasion people all the time.
And a character from Cannibal Holocaust is going to be there. I mean, that's pretty cool. They got some cool people. But yeah, I mean, now that my plans for Saturday are kind of shot because of the weather, maybe I'll take a ride over. I'll buy a ticket. I'll go in. I'll, scope out the vendor room, see if there's anything good. If not, I'll get a couple of autographs from Day of the Dead people. I have a Day of the Dead poster already signed by Ramiro, so getting a couple other people would be pretty cool on it.
Yeah, definitely. And then when Pilato comes back around, maybe Steel, you could pretty much get a real nice full poster out of that.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to that Hush festival last week that was kind of like half horror haunted house thing / convention. They had a lot of really cool guests, including Joe Bob Briggs, which, it's become kind of a mission now after we've done that live stream. It became a mission of sorts to really, at least shake the man's hand. You know what I mean? I thought that would be really cool, but a lot of people had things going on last week, and no difference than me. Chiller would be cool for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of cool guests, and it's also been a long time since I've attended, so that would be a good time. But rent is due this week. I just finished paying that, and I'm going to Atlantic City next weekend with some World of Warcraft buddies. I got a couple of people flying in to go to shithole Atlantic City and hang out with us for the weekend, which is going to be interesting. If meeting up with somebody that you want to meet up with and hang out in real life, it's one thing, but we all play computer games together, so all I'm picturing is us trying to figure out how to bring our desktops down. You know what I mean? So it could be it could be familiar.
That should be fun. Gets your brother out of the house for fucking a day or two.
That was the kicker. He's the one that kind of put this whole thing together, which is really out of character. But our buddy Mike, who we've been playing World of Warcraft for like 10 or so years with, he was originally going to be going on like a Peace Corps mission before, things changed with that. And the whole idea was to, hey, like we never hung out. Come out to Jersey, come hang out with us, and let's throw a rager. Like do something crazy before you go. When everything fell apart, it was a situation where it was like, you know what? We're all planning it anyway, so fuck it, let's do it. And it came together, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it sounds like it should be a pretty good time.
Definitely.
But yeah, so Saturday, maybe I'll go to Chiller Theater. I guess it all depends on what Tao's gonna do for the day. Because I'm probably not gonna drag her with me. I dragged her to the last one, and I think she was a little confused about what exactly it was. But she stuck it out with me while I waited online to get a Ted McGinley autograph, and then we fucking left. But I definitely don't think it's worth me spending another $40 on a ticket for her. She doesn't really get it. But after the show is over, I will be coming back home and getting ready for the stream. Our
Hopefully
special.
we get some of that ready on Friday because we've got a lot of things to cover, but I think you and I work best when we're on that fuck it, we'll do it live sort of wavelength. Like tonight's a perfect example of it. It's like no plans. I had all my programs pretty much shut down. I was looking at my PS4, and you're like, let's do it. And it worked.
Yeah. No, fuck it, we're doing it live. That's
exactly.
I don't know. I guess sometimes that's how I guess we work good that way. I don't know. I don't get it. But yes, so Saturday is our Not Quite Halloween Horrorthon stream. We have a lot of cool things, all planned by Mungus this year. He's got some really cool things, really fun things planned. Going to be a couple hour stream. Definitely not another 7-hour stream like the original Horrorthon stream was on my channel last year. But it's gonna be a couple hours, and we got all kinds of different things planned. A little gaming, some live commentary, maybe a little trivia, and then obviously the thing that everybody will be interested in is the Box O mystery giveaway. Again, to enter this giveaway, you just have to be in fucking stream. That's it. Basically, you gotta come, and you're gonna have to spend the whole time. Because we don't know when we're actually going to do this giveaway. It's got to be at the end.
Wink, wink.
But you got to be in stream. And basically, when we're ready to announce the winner, we're going to call out a name. We'll give you a couple minutes just to make, just to say, oh, I'm here, fucking I won. Yay, fuck you guys, send me my shit. So if nobody claims it after a couple minutes when we call out a winner, we'll call out another fucking winner, all right? And if
exactly.
And if after if strike 3, no one claims it, it fucking stays with us.
Yeah, it's gonna be on next year's Not Quite Halloween stream.
No,
the box is just gonna double.
Fuck that. You guys lost your chance, and I will burn it live on stream. All right, I will burn it. Right, and I'll piss on it.
At least let me take my things out of it, and maybe Michelle's.
No, it all some cool stuff in it. It all goes up in flames because of these ungrateful cretins couldn't spend a couple hours with us to claim their prize.
Yeah, it's not really that hard, but and the other thing is, we're not telling you how to win. Like, I don't even know if I know how to win, to be perfectly honest.
Well, you kind of
happen.
Yeah, you kind of gave me a rundown. I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. I like that. It works.
Yeah, and the cool thing, the thing that I like about not telling the audience how to win this thing is that they're going to be a little paranoid. Do they have to participate? Do they not have to participate? Do they have to say something funny or clever or trigger something? Do they have to say a secret code word? We're not going to tell you. We're just going to pick somebody, and we have our own guidelines, and that's how it's going down. So, definitely tune in, participate with us, hang out with us, you know, get a vibe of, if you're new to the channel or whatnot, get a vibe for what we do. Hopefully, you're going to subscribe to the channel, like our Facebook page, all that good shit, because, you know, you're a good guy or girl. Why not? But ultimately, we want you to...
Don't assume their genders. Don't do
I'm
that.
Guy, girl, or it. We'll call him it from that point. So,
oh, yes, because that's going to make us look even better.
Oh, wait. But I'm just saying, like, I don't care who you are, to be perfectly honest. It's not even it in a derogatory fashion. You could be a fucking alien for all I care. If you do the right thing, say the right thing, or, you know, do whatever we want, whatever guideline we want for the winner, guess what? That's how it's going to be. You could be a dog for all I care. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so we want you to hang out with us, stick with us, and, you know, actually try to enjoy the show, not just pop in, say, did I win, and peace out. You know, we're planning a lot, putting a lot of work into it. John in the chat over here, who's probably angry at me again, I don't know. He did a lot of work on these videos, and a lot of work putting up with me. So, you know, that's one factor. I'm going to be spending multiple days writing out a lot of different things that we're going to be doing, and, you know, Matt's over here is going to just show up. I'm kidding.
Man, motherfucker, I am the Crypt Keeper, alright? I'm fucking Zachary up in this bitch.
Yeah, especially when they hear the next commercial at the end of the stream.
I don't even know. I guess I'm just gonna play the video just on... Is it up on YouTube, or...
Oh, I sent it to you. It's on our channel.
Oh, is it?
Second. Yeah, it's the first video, and then the one that you played already is the second. So download the first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't fucking do anything with that one. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. See how prepared I am, people. Don't you love that?
Dude, the worst part about that is everything is in this nice and neat compartment. Like, everything is in proper order, and you just missed the one big block that's a video.
I got one of the videos.
I give you credit where it's due, but, you know. Heaven forbid if you had to make the videos. Thank God for John. I think we're going to make a t-shirt out of that.
Well, you know what? I was actually thinking about trying to find a version of After Effects and start messing with it. It looks like fun.
Yeah, he pulls together some really, really cool stuff, and I always send them, like, PSD files, and like, I assume it's just going to be a flat image when when I send it to him, and he does all this wild animation stuff, and, you know, it's good stuff. I'm sure there's plenty of cool effects and features that you could play around with in that program, and, I mean, he sent me, like, countless samples of things that we could do, and all it does is make my head spin of all the projects that I want to put John to work on. And I don't want to give the poor man a heart attack with all this stuff.
Yeah, no, I would love to learn a little bit about it. Like, you know, it didn't take me too long to learn a little bit of about Vegas. You know, I'm not that I'm good with it, but I can do basic stuff enough to make stuff presentable at least. And I'm sure After Effects is a lot more intensive, but I think it'd be kind of fun just to fuck around with shit.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get into it myself. When I was doing short films in the past, I was more of the, you know, like, over-the-shoulder editor. Like, we would make our, you know, like, vomit cut of it, and then we would just, I would know where to make cuts and, you know, like, how to tighten everything up. I like to say that I was good at that. But when you're a two-man operation with a bunch of random helpers that are or are not reliable, you have to learn everything from self-promotion to graphic design to looking through thousands of fonts to writing, After Effects editing. It's just, you know, like, you learn a little bit of everything. So you're like, you know, like, master of none, I guess. You have a general idea, but nothing solid. You're not an expert yet. But that's the thing that I like about having John around, because I want to get back into films and different things, and I got myself an editor. It was very helpful, very.
Yes, Ray's not using you for your skills or just anything like that. You know, he generally likes you. Maybe.
I do. I really do. It's really cool that we all kind of meshed the way we did once we got started on the zombie. Like, creating the zombie is what brought us all together, and my good friend Jess as well. So, that was pretty neat, and there's big plans in the future. So I like it.
All right. Well, I think that's enough jibba jabba for the moment. Why don't we get into a little bit of horror news that we got going on this week?
It's a horror fiction, still a screen addiction. Cinematic gore and murder, it's horror fiction, not a fact prediction.
Alright, let's see, what do we got going on first? I'm all fucked up over here. So, obviously, yeah, seriously. So Halloween, the new Halloween sequel, was released this past weekend, and it cleaned up pretty damn well at the box office, pulling in somewhere around 70 plus million. So that's pretty fucking impressive. And you could probably almost guarantee at this point that a sequel is already in the works.
Yeah, I think from what I've read, they were kicking around ideas, which is weird because they kind of introduced this movie like this is going to be the nail in the coffin. We wanted it to come full circle, bring John Carpenter back, make sure that everybody, all the big players had some sort of involvement in it, and they wanted to really hit it out of the park to kind of close the door on the franchise. And then, the hype got real and everybody started talking sequel, which is, you could pretty much expect that right from the beginning anyway. But now that it pulled in 77.5 million and 14.3 million overseas, I think, they're looking at dollar signs at this point, which who could blame them? And fans are, they're rabid for more.
Fans always want more, whether the movie was good or not. If it's a long-standing, cherished franchise, they're always going to want more. It's just how fans work. But overall, what were your opinions?
I think that they brought the franchise back to its roots, and I always hate when creators say, "Hey, yeah, we're going to take it back to the essential, the important tentpoles of the original film. We're gonna bring it back to basics, bring it back to what made the original good." And generally speaking, when you watch the film, it's never that. You always get those promises, and they're never really fulfilled, in my opinion. Not very often, at least. But this one legitimately feels like Halloween again. It feels like we're in Haddonfield again. A lot of time has passed, but it finally has reclaimed that Halloween vibe that, in my opinion, has been kind of missing from the series since, I want to say, Halloween 6. Even though the other ones pretty much took place on Halloween and everything, they always miss that vibe, that the original captured so perfectly. As far as, all the players coming back, it was... I could basically speak volumes on how great the score was, how interesting of a story that they came up with, and one thing that I said in my little mini social media review was that it's nice to see that Halloween finally has something to say. It started out as pretty much a basic slasher movie, which is all well and good, but this one takes kind of it does that, but at the same time, it also kind of pulls the camera back, and it looks at PTSD and that sort of effect on victims in society, and it paints a really interesting tale when it comes to that. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode being back is fantastic. Probably some of the most interesting scenes are when she is on the screen, and that's a great thing because the last time she was in the series, and I'm not counting Resurrection, we'll talk about that on Halloween, but H2O, they really promoted that she was going to be back. Laurie Strode was going to be back. It was going to be important, a return to the roots and all that, and in that movie it felt more Jamie Lee Curtis than Laurie Strode. It missed the entire point of what a woman like that after all these years would kind of go through. And I think I missed the ball big time. Excuse me. But this time, you know, it was a different story. Myers is great. The kills are great. You know, like I can speak. There's only one small thing that really, really bothered me, and because being that I decided it's not going to be a spoiler episode, we're gonna have to wait till, you know, other people have seen it and we talk about it a little more, maybe another episode.
I hear it you know, kind of jacks up the gore factor quite a bit from previous films.
Yes, and it's not always on the screen, which before fans kind of freak out about that, it's sometimes it's more terrifying when the camera just pans by, you know, a mangled body, and or you think about what Myers was just doing 5 minutes previously. You know, like it really ups the game a little bit, and it kind of does it in ways that you're not necessarily used to from a slasher movie.
Huh? How are the supporting characters?
The teenagers were teenagers, pretty basic, but they kind of had that sort of good camaraderie with one another. So like they were very, you know, very believable. You know, in the scenarios they were in, it seemed like a typical high school type of movie. A lot of people say with this movie, and this is not necessarily a spoiler, but a lot of people say this is kind of like a retread of the original. You know, like, but in my opinion, it's so much more than that. But the teenagers have that same sort of buddy vibe that you would see with the with Annie and what's her face, totally girl. I can't remember her name.
That was PJ Souls. That's
yes. But they, you know, they were really good. They introduced a couple newer characters, one of which, like I said before, was a little problem. I can't remember the cop's name, but he was like I could picture this guy with Brackett. You know what I mean? Like I could picture the two of them on the force together. Like this guy was a great actor. I wish I could remember his name, but you know, like the supporting character. Yeah, I think it was Hawkins. Actually, you're right. I remembered the actor's name like recently. I just lost it. But you know, for the most part, it's great.
so overall, you were pleased, and and it lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I thought so. I want to watch it again just to give it another view, because, you know, like that sort of, when you go into these movies, you got that anticipation, especially if you're a longtime fan. You're one of those people that you're going to love it regardless. You're going to be overly critical, but still accepting. I want to watch it again without the wide-eyed view of it. I want to, you know, like now that the honeymoon's over, the hype has settled down a little bit. I want to like really take everything in that just kind of like flash before my eyes while I'm witnessing, you know, Halloween 40 years later with players that were in the original, which is pretty awesome. So aside from one problematic twist, turn of events, you know, it's pretty solid. I think if I gave it a number rating, it was probably an 8.5 for me.
I think I know which twist you're talking about, because I have not had a chance to see the movie yet, but I've already read all about it, and I read about I read about the one twist in it, but it doesn't really seem like that twist really goes anywhere.
It doesn't, and I think what was most jarring about it is the fact that they kind of starting to execute the twist, and you're like, oh no, don't do this, not like this. Okay, all right, good. They pulled back. Oh, sigh of relief, you know.
Yeah, I was reading reading up on that a little bit, and it seems like a lot of people had that kind of reaction. They're like, oh, they're really gonna do? Oh, okay, they can do it a little bit, and then it's fine now.
Exactly, and like I could rationalize what they were going for. You know, like I could look at the perspective and see, oh, that makes sense because of this, or that's a nice homage because of that. That's a nice continuation of what could have been. I know I'm being super vague here, but if you see the scene and you understand the movie, you're going to totally get where I'm coming from. It's like one of those situations where, you know, it could have been a different faith for another character, and they were very, very careful with the thin line that they walked. And just them walking that line, it was a little bit scary to somebody who is like enthralled pretty much up to that point in the movie. You're just like, oh my god, this is great, this is great. Oh wait, why are they doing this now? No.
Yeah, well, you know, most movies are gonna have something that bother you slightly, so you know you gotta just kind of roll with the punches on that one. But overall, it does sound like it's a very good, very entertaining, very atmospheric movie that lives up to the hype and has made a lot of fans very happy.
And John Carpenter made me tremendously happy. Like, if they do any reboot, remake, soft reboot, whatever you want to call them, on any more of his films, please hire him for the score, because he took a classic theme and, like, I've listened to the soundtrack countless times at this point, and seeing it kind of play in the movie, it's just an instant classic. You know, like he dominates the movie with his score, and I think once you see the film, you're going to kind of have a similar reaction to when we were talking about Fabio Frizzi doing the recent Puppet Master. Like, I think me and you, when we discuss the movie with a spoiler review, we're going to kind of like really gush over the soundtrack, because it's just incredible. He's not skipped a beat, and dare I say, he's gotten significantly better, and his kids added so much to it.
And Godson.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Maybe next week, or when I finally get my time off in the next week or two, I'll catch a matinee and, you know, finally get to sit down and enjoy it.
Yeah, man, keep me updated, because I'd definitely be probably willing to go see it again if you know, our schedules matched up. But I definitely want to talk about it again.
All right, man. I will keep you posted on that one. So, moving from Halloween to Friday the 13th. It seems every couple weeks we get some type of Friday the 13th update. And, well, this week is no different. So, this week was a bit of a bombshell, but it really shouldn't have been. So, for anyone who, you know, who hadn't heard, really, LeBron James and the company he founded, Spring something. Spring, what's it called?
I don't know. I'm still trying to shake the nightmare of waking up to that article.
Spring Hill Entertainment?
Spring Hill Entertainment, yeah.
Is that really? Did I get it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Spring Hill Entertainment. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm bringing up the post I wrote now, and all right, so fuck. Huh?
Yeah, you nailed it, man. I just googled it real quick.
Hey, am I? Oh, okay, that's weird. My
You good?
Yeah, I guess I'm okay. My main computer is not really alive anymore. But my streaming computer's fine, so everything's coming through fine.
All right.
Which is weird. I got limited connectivity on my main computer, and I don't know why. So, where was I? So, all right. So, LeBron James' company, Spring Hill Entertainment, it's a company he founded, are looking to reboot Friday the 13th. Now, obviously, this was freaking people out, man. Freaking them out. But they weren't really looking at the whole picture. They were just seeing the name LeBron James and Friday the 13th in the same sentence, and they were freaking out. And initially, I did the same thing, but after a couple minutes, I'm like, all right, hang on. Let's look at this. So it turns out that Victor Miller wants to do something with his rights. And apparently LeBron James is interested in doing something with, you know, the movie, the franchise. Well, at the end of the day, what you got here is they don't have a lot to work with. They can only use stuff that was in the first movie, because that's all Victor Miller owns. And they can only work within the United States. So that means they will release a Friday the 13th movie that is not going to have a hockey mask, because that did not come into play until the third movie. So that is off limits. A movie that most likely is not going to have an adult Jason. Just a theory there. And a movie that they cannot release overseas. Now, the international market is where movies make a good chunk, if not the bulk of the money. And yeah, you know, studios aren't going to touch this shit if they can't release it overseas. So at the end of the day, this news, not really news. It's just kind of like, let's see what kind of reaction the fans are going to give us on this, and be done with it.
Honestly, the way I look at it is that this is nothing more than a power play from Victor Miller. This is a situation where he found somebody with a company who has affiliation with Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, the LeBron James company has an affiliation with Warner Brothers, and essentially it's Victor Miller teaming up with somebody that could theoretically produce a Friday the 13th movie. Will it happen? Probably not. This is basically just, in my opinion at least, something to show that, to show Sean Cunningham and Horror Inc., who just recently filed an appeal for the whole lawsuit that Victor Miller just won. So this is what they're doing is showing that they have a company that's willing to back them on a movie, and like your play. You know, they're saying your play. What next? It's one of those type of deals where, you know, it might force Sean Cunningham into possibly settling outside of court, or, you know, backing off on the appeal or something like that, trying to meet in the middle maybe. But at the same time, it's showing that he has like a pistol in his waistband just in case. Like Bates said before, a film without a hockey mask, without Crystal Lake, without pretty much all the details that came out of the first film is just not going to work for any audience. I think the only way to really get a film like that to work is if they decided to go the prequel route and kind of show Jason's upbringing, possibly introduce Elias Voorhees, all that stuff. But, like, do we really want that? You know, do horror fans really want something like that?
No. Horror fans want Jason, they want a hockey mask, they want all that good, gory stuff. They don't want a remake of the first film, because at the end of the day, and I'm one of the biggest Friday the 13th fans ever, at the end of the day, the first film, not that great of a film. It really isn't. It's very important, but when compared to Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 6, it doesn't stand up. It's not even close.
And when you look at those like whodunit type of you know, slasher movies, like the Bava stuff, you know, it kind of pales in comparison. And for, you know, this is coming from somebody who absolutely loves the first film. Like I'll fight with Bates on it about it being a great movie. But at the same time, it's definitely not as good as a couple movies that came before it as far as slashers. Except, you know, it's the movie that kind of launched the slasher genre into, you know, like the mainstream. It made it a viable genre, a very, very what's the word, profitable genre as well.
Yeah, no, it did. It's important. It definitely is. But again, it's not a movie anyone wants to see remade. Not a straight remake of the original, anyway.
No, definitely not. And I was in a debate recently, and they were, you know, they have their finger on the pulse of kind of like the movie industry and, you know, the community and moviegoers and things like that. But they were saying that just because Friday the 13th is a pop culture name that fans, or not fans, just people in general, moviegoers in general, would go and see this movie with or without the mask, because kind of moviegoers are not the smartest, I guess, is what he was implying. Half the time Jason and Michael Myers, they all get confused, was an example that he was saying. And, dare I say that I don't think that's true at all. It's one of those situations where, like the minute they see that hockey mask in that trailer or TV spot, they're going to know what that movie is, regardless. Jason has been way too much of an important character over the years. Sure, in conversations, they'll mix up the sequels. But when it comes to promoting that movie and they don't see a hockey mask and then they see Friday the 13th, I think the average Joe who goes to a movie is, they're going to be like, what the fuck? What is this movie? And the drop off after week one, if they don't make a very good movie, it's like, burying yourself. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Basically, all I gotta say is, don't expect anything to move forward on this. It's, I think it's just like a whole lot of dick waving right now from Victor Miller. And, I'm not expecting anything to come of this. But if you want to go out and get your hopes up, that's on you. Just don't be upset when nothing happens. So, moving on, Rob Zombie gives us a little update on 3 from Hell, because we haven't had any 3 from Hell news in, God, a while. It's been weeks and weeks.
Yeah, once he finished the tour, I know he got back to editing, and I think he wrapped up a lot of those teaser posters that he was releasing, but everything got quiet after.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't even see what he really gave us an update on. I knew it wasn't anything.
It wasn't major. It wasn't a real big thing. It was basically him saying that, like, not to expect Devil's Rejects 2 in a way. Like, essentially, he said that the second movie, obviously the Devil's Rejects, was so different than the first one. The approach when it came to 3 from Hell was to go for it and make a different type of movie. So instead of retreading similar ground, he is apparently going to be changing. I don't know if it's going to be the vibe or the genre or what he's going for with this, but I don't know. The main reason why I brought this up, this article into the whole situation, is how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel comfortable that this film is going to be good, or is it going to be? Does it open up a worry that he might try something entirely too different and it's going to kind of dampen, the classicness of Devil's Rejects?
No, I was kind of expecting a very different movie just because of where it seems like this movie is going to take place mostly. It looks like it's going to take place in prison and a courtroom, and I was legit from the start expecting a very different movie, but I think the characters are going to be very true to themselves. But I think just everything else around them is going to be vastly different.
I think my concern is in the characters, because they had similar spirit in the first one to the second one, but they matured in a very, very big way. And now we're 10, probably closer to 15 years later from when they made Devil's Rejects. So are they going to do a time jump? Is it going to be a situation like that? Or is it, and with a time jump, how much different are the characters going to be? Like, is it going to be amped up more like they did with the first film? Or are they just going to continue on that path that they went between the two?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people were expecting it to be very similar to Devil's Rejects, but even from the start, I that's not what I was expecting. I mean, just because of how Devil's Rejects ended, I couldn't see them really continuing on that way. It's just, I don't know, it just never worked out in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting to where they're going to be going with it, and with him being successful going from House to Devil's Rejects, I think it's in the right hands, despite his lukewarm reactions or the lukewarm reactions that the fans have been giving his other films. I think these characters are more of his babies than any of the other ones, and I think I want to say they're in capable hands, but I still have that little pit in my stomach that's saying, be cautiously optimistic. Don't get your hopes way too high.
Nah, I think it's gonna be alright. I think it's going to be a movie that's not as good as Devil's Rejects, but it's gonna have a home, and with it's gonna be a fitting entry to this franchise, I think.
Yeah, here's hoping.
All right, so we already kind of discussed what our main discussion with the horrorthon, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on to a bit of a geek and comic news. Alright, so James Gunn apparently in talks to write and direct Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah, relatively old news, because like I said in the beginning, we've been kind of on a weird little path these last couple of weeks, but I think that's really significant update from where we were, a few weeks back when the whole Marvel James Gunn drama happened.
Yeah, listen, you know what? Dude's got to work, and obviously he did nothing wrong, or anything he did wrong was fucking a decade ago, and it's... Listen, I am not gonna be mad because he's taking a job with DC. You know what? Marvel fucked up. They could have come back a couple weeks later and like, all right, this is kind of calm down. Let's talk this out and figure out what's going on, and worked it out. But instead, they went too long and probably had no intentions on bringing him back. So, WB and DC jumped on him. Now, is anything gonna really come of that? I don't know. I mean, the DC fucking universe right now is a fucking mess.
But there are signs that they're trying to improve certain things. It's really this weird public push and pull, and the only things that the fans are really seeing are constant announcements and movie delays. So it's understandable to see that and being like, oh Jesus Christ, this they don't know what they're doing over there, and we're probably all right by saying that. But one thing that we saw when Zack Snyder left the Justice League film, there was this glimmer of hope when Joss Whedon came in and tried to correct the movie and try to finish it off and get it right, if you will. You talk to a DC fan, a lot of those people are saying he's the reason why that movie's a mess, not Snyder, but whatever, here nor there. But you look at James Gunn and see what kind of impact he had with Guardians of the Galaxy, and right before all this nonsense happened, you got to a point where he was kind of in a role where they would look to him and kind of like help try to usher in the new eras, how to fit the cosmic universe into the next phase of Marvel. And he seemed to be, in a very strong leadership role, similar to what Whedon was when before he left Marvel. So when you take that all into consideration, you see the state of Warner Brothers and the DCU, and you're like, okay, well, here's the glimmer of hope. Here's the person that is very familiar with the comic genre, very familiar with these, Suicide Squad is just as much of a gang of misfits as Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's been down this road before. I think if they give him final cut and all that going into this movie, He could put on a pretty positive spin on the universe.
Yeah, he could. I guess honestly, it's all gonna depend on what they're doing with this universe. It's in fucking shambles right now. Shambles.
I get what you're saying, but you know, all it takes is a handful of decent films to go into play, and you know, like forget the past, keep moving forward, and take whatever he's going to be bringing to the table, and you know, like even if you have to make that your new starting point, you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. What's kind of cool though is not James Gunn related, is the fact that they're filming the new Joker movie like 20 minutes from me in Newark.
Yeah, that's true. My buddy, actually, the guy that I used to work with, that I've stayed in contact with, he was just a extra in that movie. He actually did an extra work in The Irishman when they filmed in Newark, and the casting agency called him up for another job when they brought Joker into town. So he's essentially going to be, if he makes it into the movie, the guy hailing for a taxi. I told him, I said, what he should do is go onto IMDb and put a character name for both of his roles, one in The Irishman, one in Joker, but name the same role. Like, name the same character, so we can make our own shared universe. Like The Irishman happens in the world of the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's pretty cool that he's extra. I actually think it's going to be a pretty unique movie. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that too. And you know what? John in chat just made a fantastic point. They need Flashpoint to reset the whole timeline. I mean, do it up like Days of Future Past did for X-Men. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we need Days of Future Past too, so Wolverine could go back in time and fix that whole apocalypse debacle. But Flashpoint could really work to fix the universe, to say the least.
Yeah, well, so could a flamethrower, but...
God, you're so negative. I'm the more DC optimist here.
Listen, we you know, this Joker movie looks really, really cool. Not even though I think it's going to be pretty much standalone. The Shazam movie looks like a lot of fun. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm excited for Aquabro, dude.
I'm not excited, but James Wan's a great director, and the movie looks pretty, at least.
I'm not, like, I've never really been a fan of Wan. I've watched so much of his crap, not so much, but I've watched enough of his crap, and I'm just, I don't know, I don't think he's anything special. He's not bad. I just don't see anything great.
I think he has a nice eye, you know, like as weird as that might sound just on paper. like he has a good visual eye, and
he's got pretty eyes. You like his eye?
I do. I just stare into him longingly. Plus, I'm a little biased. I was sick and missed a convention, and he signed a poster for me. Him and Leigh Whannell.
Aww.
Those guys are good Australians. I love those dudes.
Alright, well that's enough DC talk for now. I can only talk about DC so much before the gag reflex starts hitting. But here's some upsetting news for Marvel fans out there. Netflix has canceled both Iron Fist and Luke Cage, and it looks like it is very possible that Daredevil and Jessica Jones will be next on the list getting the axe. And I read a report as to why these shows are getting canceled. And it's not because their last seasons didn't do well. It's not because they weren't well received. They were. Even though I thought... Well, actually, I liked Luke Cage Season 2 more than I liked Season 1. And I loved Iron Fist Season 1. And Season 2 was just so fucking good. But apparently the report I read said that these shows are getting canceled because their social media mentions are dropping significantly.
Okay, so you read the same report that I read.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even know where to go with that one. It's like, okay, so people are talking about it less on social media. I mean, are you still getting the same number of views and ratings and and all that good stuff. So, listen, at the end,
It's weird to me. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's really weird that this report exists, and it seems like a journalist trying way too hard to dig in and try to find numbers for these shows. Netflix doesn't release viewer numbers or anything like that, so you'll never get a ratings report or anything like that. So, in my opinion, it seems like this journalist is kind of trying to, I guess, latch onto anything to gauge what amount of people are watching. Not to say this isn't true, because I've heard weird tales in Hollywood about actors or actresses not getting roles because they don't have enough clout. And by clout, they mean social media followers, engagement numbers on each post, likes, favorites, etc., all that nonsense. And it's a weird time in Hollywood where, you know, like, followers on Twitter is a thing, and it's important, and how many followers they have in a studio's mind equates to how many potential dollars these followers will spend, even though, you know, most of them are bots. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's all, in all likelihood, this could be possible, but to me, it seems like a little bit of a stretch as far as, you know, like an investigative piece. In my opinion, like, the more believable scenario is Marvel is going, like, full steam ahead on this whole new streaming platform that they're going to be doing, and two options could be possible here. One, Netflix is butthurt about it, and they're just like, well, fuck it, we're going to just cancel these shows. Why spend money when Marvel's, you know, not even giving shit? They're not putting in the movies, they're not mentioning these shows, you know, why bother? And the second option is Marvel let the contract go, and or basically Marvel is choosing not to renew these contracts, and they're just cutting their losses in advance. Now, does that mean these shows could continue on Marvel's streaming network? Who knows? But you know, there's a lot of things, a lot of past possible avenues that these shows could take.
Yeah, I hope they do something with them, because there's a lot more stories these characters can tell. I mean, Daredevil Season 3 was, without a doubt, the best season of television I have ever watched. It was that fucking good. And I didn't think anything would top Daredevil Season 1. And this one, it doesn't blow it away, but it's just so good. And when you have, in my opinion, the best comic book villain ever to be portrayed in live action, so prominent again on screen, it's just, oh, such a fucking joy and a treat to watch Vincent D'Onofrio fucking act his balls off as Wilson Fisk. And I pray it is not the last we have seen of him. It's just, his character is so engrossing, and just watching him concoct and scheme and fucking set all these plans he has in motion is so masterful, and I love every second. I'm gonna rewatch the season again because I enjoyed it that much. There's so many good things going on in this season. They finally did Bullseye right. They changed his origins a bit, and he's not the same Bullseye from the Marvel comics. Even though the Bullseye in the comics is a very ambiguous character, as far as I know, you don't even learn his last name in the comics. He only has a first name, and you really don't know all that much about him, but they did a really good job with the character of Bullseye, whose name in the show is Ben Poindexter. His name in the comics, I believe, was Lester. So, but they, compared to the Daredevil movie and how they handled fucking Joey Pants playing Bullseye, and I love Joey Pants, don't get me wrong, but yeah, no, not good.
That was my when I seen that movie, I was in my fuck Colin Farrell phase. Like I absolutely despised anything that he was in, and that was no different. Years later, I definitely appreciate him a little more as an actor, but oh man, I'm trying to forget that.
Wait, that was Colin Farrell?
Yeah,
Really? I thought it was Joey Pants.
nope, it was Colin.
Huh.
So I guess you don't like Joey Pants that much.
What the fuck? No, he was... Oh, I thought he played Bullseye. He didn't. He played Ben Ulrich.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so he was in it. I knew I saw him in. I thought he played Bullseye. All right. Well, regardless, it was bad. They were bad. Bad.
It was
Bullseye.
very bad. Like yeah, at the end of the day, still.
But this new Bullseye, fucking, he hits a bullseye. Yeah, that pun
Oh,
writes
why'd you do
itself.
that?
That pun writes itself.
It also groans at it too.
He's good. He is a worthy adversary, and and it is very possible that he returns. You know, as long as we get a season 4 or as this show continues somewhere, he may be back. There's a very cool nod to his character from the comics in the show. They couldn't go the exact route they went in the comics for a few reasons. I won't get into it because that really dives into spoilers, and I don't want to do that. But it's a really cool nod for this character, and I hope we get to see more of it.
I'm hoping that we get to a point if Daredevil gets canceled, which I'm really hoping it doesn't. I hope that Marvel Studios starts to smarten up and realize what great character actors they have doing these performances. They may not respect these shows because they didn't create them, or they're not very interested in trying to fit them into their universe. But as long as they keep working on Spider-Man, I think realistically they could definitely cross over these street-level heroes into that universe. And as Tom Holland gets older, he'll fit right into that gang of like he could fit into that universe with ease. So what I'm like proposing is similar to how in season 2 you had Daredevil and Punisher. Like there's no doubt in my mind that Marvel Studios could make a Spider-Man Kingpin thing work, a Spider-Man Daredevil thing work. The Defenders, for example. I think that would be a great place to kind of put that universe into play. And it seems like they got cold feet to do it otherwise. Like why don't you make something bigger? Make the Spider-Man universe a little bit bigger on the MCU side, as opposed to these crazy villain movies they're planning for the Sony side. I think just seeing Kingpin with Spider-Man on screen, I mean that movie is going to write itself, and it's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, I don't know where they could really go though. You have to watch Daredevil season 3 to kind of get what I'm trying to say. But I mean, I guess anything is possible. It's the world. It's a comic book world, so anything is possible, really.
Definitely. But yeah, no, it's, just like I was saying, I'd love to see those characters like fit into the movie universe somewhere. So hopefully, if this shake-up that's going on, maybe it'll inspire some good. Like maybe something will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess again, as usual, time will tell where Luke Cage and Iron Fist end up, if they end up anywhere. It'd be nice to see him on the Marvel Disney streaming service. Hopefully, they keep it as a hard PG-13 type of rating of a show. But it's who knows? Who knows? You know, if they were to bring these characters back and do like a weak PG-13 rating, and you know they take out a lot of the violence, and a lot of the cursing, and all that stuff, and the shows are just gonna lose everything that they've built. So they would be fools if they go that route. So hopefully they don't. All right. So before we go ahead and wrap up tonight, it is well, it saddens us greatly to have to report on the passing of James Caron. And if you're unfamiliar with James Caron and why this is upsetting to us, well, he starred in the movie where we got the name of this show from. He was one of the stars in Return of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Among a massive filmography. I mean, this guy been acting for quite a while and was in quite a bit of things, but obviously he will always be near and dear to our hearts, simply because of his portrayal of Frank in Return of the Living Dead. You know, it's sad, but he was also 94 years old, so he did live a very long life. You know, I can only hope to reach that age. And you know, he'll live on forever as Frank and all the other great characters he's played over the years. And you know, as I said, he was in a lot of movies, and I guess he really liked his job.
And liked its job.
So, yeah. So we want to wish, you know, our condolences. Send our condolences out to his friends and family. And you know, it's sad, but again, you know, we'll always have his movies to look back on. And now this is the second person in the last couple years that we lost from Return of the Living Dead. Technically, I guess it would be the third person. Because you know, we did lose Don Calfa about 2 or 3 years back, I think.
Mm-hmm. You know what sucks though about movie passings, and I know like a lot of us we never met him or we didn't know him or anything like that, but like we revisit these movies and they're kind of immortalized in that time. And you know, when you watch it again, you kind of check in with your old buddies that haven't aged, but you know, it's a reality that we all age and we all reach that point of eventually passing away. And you know, like just we watched Return of the Living Dead and did the commentary on this channel not a few months back, I'd say. I don't remember when exactly, but you know, we checked in with our good buddy Frank, and he was, you know, showing you know, what was the name, Freddy? Freddy around, you know, talking about the split dogs and everything like that. But you don't realize that, like, that dude, just because, you know, you watched him in the movie and everything, but that dude's growing old every single minute. And, you know, it kind of, like, swims up and bites you on the ass when this sort of thing happens, you know. You don't think that just because they're immortalized in the movie, they're immortalized forever. And, you know, fortunately, that's not the case. But he's a great actor, had so many amazing roles, and when you look at his IMDb, you're just like, good Lord. Like, there's, you know, the stuff that we're fans of is just scratching the tip, you know, like of what this man's accomplished in his life. And, you know, I'm glad that we have that to remember him by, as well as all the memories we had, you know, out of our favorite horror movie, arguably, Return of the Living Dead. And, sucks. It's reality, but you know, he'll be missed.
Yes, he will. But thankfully, somebody 7 years ago decided to upload a 5-second clip from Return of the Living Dead. So watch your tongue, boy. So So that can everyone can just go and just watch that clip on loop. It's on repeat. Just 5 seconds of probably the best scene in the movie, just because of just how ridiculous, just how ridiculous that entire scene was.
Yes.
Stupid asshole! Watch your tongue, boy, if you like this job! Like this job!
But yeah, so our condolences go out, and yeah, man, rest in peace, buddy.
Ditto.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. We started late because we didn't think we were gonna do it tonight, but then we did. So yeah, make sure you check out the website deadentertainment.com. I have a really cool special article coming out in the next day or so. Definitely check that out. It is very. It's gonna be very unique. It's not something I've written about before, but it's something that I'm a big fan of, and I hope if any of you guys read it, you might look into it a bit and maybe become fans yourself. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know when it's going up, but it should be up pretty soon.
I think we're putting it up on Friday.
There you go, Friday. So keep your eye out Friday, most likely Friday afternoon, for a really cool article that I've been working on for quite a while. You can also follow us over at on Twitter. You can follow me at Bates_MotelMT and Mungus over at Ray Mungus. You can also follow the site at Dead End Site. And also just remember this Saturday, I believe we're starting at around 8 o'clock ish. And yeah, you don't want to miss the Not Quite Halloween Horrorthon. There's a lot of good stuff going on. The OXO mystery giveaway. It's gonna be a good time. We got a lot of stuff planned. Well, I should say Mungus has a lot of stuff planned. He did pretty much all the planning for this event, because I was lazy, but he had all kinds of really great ideas. So don't even want to argue with him on that one. He's got some cool stuff lined up for us, and it should be a hell of a good time. I got my beer ready, and it's gonna be good. Am I playing this other video?
Yeah, we'll do it right after our ending video. But I just wanted to stress before we sign out completely. If you got friends, if you do, I think you do. Otherwise, you got friends in us, but if you don't, but please bring some friends, bring some people. They have a shot at winning some cool shit. We were looking in our collections. We were looking at stores. We imported stuff from the Great White North. There's some cool stuff in our little giveaway, and that's just to entice you to come along. And we want your friends to come hang out, your friends, family, whoever you want to tell. You see a homeless person on the street with a tablet, because that's just how it works these days. Tell him to come onto our stream and watch it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you might win something. You might not, but you win the experience overall. Everybody gets that.
Yeah. Sure, it's going to be fun regardless. I mean, if you win something, it's even better. If you don't, well, then you don't. What the fuck you want from us? There's only one box, all right? There can only be one. There can be only one.
I like it.
All right. And then obviously next Wednesday is Halloween, and we will be doing a special episode, a live commentary, and we will be watching Halloween Resurrection, because anybody could watch a good Halloween movie. So we're not. We're watching the worst Halloween movie. The absolute worst Halloween movie. We decided that would be fun. Let's watch that. So we're watching it. And you can join us as we torture ourselves for you, the people.
Speaking of Halloween Resurrection, I mean, cut you off again, but did you see the petition that's going around?
Do I want to know?
There's a petition going around right now that that they
Oh,
want
the Busta Rhymes commentary. Busta
They
Rhymes
want a
commentary.
Busta Rhymes commentary, and I'm down, man. I would buy that shit.
I wouldn't buy it. I would wait till somebody I knew was stupid enough to buy it, and then I'd maybe watch it. But I don't know. Sitting through that movie, I'm dreading sitting through that movie once. All right, let alone doing it a second time.
So you're essentially waiting for me to buy it so we can watch it.
There you go.
Fair.
But yeah, so whatever there. All right, so that is gonna do it for us. I am gonna go ahead and try to play this other video we have, this other ad for the stream on Saturday. Where is it? There it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play this other ad for you guys. It is super cringeworthy, so I hope you enjoy it.
It is wonderful. I love it so much.
Oh god,
Thanks, John, for helping with that.
It is cringe to the maximum, and the sound quality differences. That's what actually makes it really funny. But it really it really does sound like one of those old hammy, like 90s, like local store commercials, you know. I don't even know how else to explain it. It is just so hammy, so cringy. But I hope you guys like it. Pass it around to people just so they can see what's going on, and you know, maybe they'll come out and hang out with us on Saturday. But
yeah, it's gonna be uploaded to the YouTube channel tomorrow. But this is your first look.
Yes, first look. Yeah, you guys are in for a treat here. But thank you guys. I hope to see everybody Saturday night. Good luck on the giveaway and enjoy this fucking thing here.
Lock your doors, close your blinds, grab your knife, and prepare yourself for the most shocking and terrifying giveaway ever to grace your doorstep.
Dead Entertainment presents the Trick or Treat Box of Mystery giveaway.
What ghoulish prizes can you expect to unearth in this fiendish box of mystery?
Collectibles, prints, perhaps some Blu-rays.
Garbage, stale marshmallows, severed limbs, an Uwe Boll autograph? Your mind can't fathom the kind of horrors that are in store for you if you happen to be the unlucky soul who wins.
Entering is easier than you think. Join us this Saturday, October 27th for our Not Quite Halloween Horrorthon Livestream and be present for the drawing.
Think you got what it takes to suffer through our incoherent ramblings and survive long enough to grasp victory from the other tortured souls who wish to claim the box for themselves? May God have mercy on your souls.
Good luck.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.